They didn't want to come do their job today. They were outside on the field.
Uh-oh.
Dave, with Gavin Stone, you had talked about after, maybe before his last outing, just wanting to see that consistency with his conviction. You think about what his last two turns have looked like. Is that, I guess, kind of the perfect example of what you're hoping to see from him?
It is. He's been very consistent with his command, conviction, kind of conviction, confidence. I've seen way more consistency with that. As a result, he's gone deeper into games. He looks like a seasoned major league pitcher, and obviously the boyish face, but the demeanor on the mound, he's a bulldog out there, and so for me, it's really fun to watch him, gain that confidence.
Does that put, I guess, I don't know about more importance, but just kind of a focus on this game to see him finding ways to just maintain that consistency through, I guess, a third outing?
Yeah, and I think that every team is a major league team, and regardless of record, and so this is another thing for him to build on that momentum that we've had this homestand. And so I don't expect any type of letdown in focus. So, I expect him to go out there with that same vigor and compete that he has.
Max had another rush start in the field this year. What have you seen from him over this last couple of weeks?
It's been a lot better as far as the time of good versus not so good. I think he's moving really well. The ball stayed in the glove. He's working as hard as I've seen him work. He's working the right way, gain more game speed. So I really commend him on that. Dino's put a lot of time with him, and it's just good to see that it's paying off, for showing fruits. And he's been a great defender for us. He really has.
Several guys have referred to Rojas as a second infield coach. Is that a role you guys asked him to sort of fill, or is he just really sort of assuming on his own?
No, he assumed it on his own, and I think that I give Miguel a lot of credit because understanding your role on a ball club, is really important. And everyone wants to play every day, but to feel that you can do things to be additive and help your teammates out and help us win baseball games, he's done that. And Mookie would be the first to tell you that if it wasn't for Miguel, he wouldn't be where he's at right now. And I think that for Muncy in this particular situation, or Lux, seeing a player like Rojas pride himself so much on defense and getting off the ball, throwing it over there accurately, having the intensity and the focus every pitch, that's contagious. And defense is his hallmark. And so I think it certainly helps kind of make it that much more important for our guys.
Dave, the whole defensive run saved is probably better than most people had projected. And how nice is that to see? And how much is it when you talk about Max and Mookie settling in and then having Rojas as that fourth guy to kind of move around? How key is all that been?
It goes with, it's great to see. Defenses sometimes there's a ceiling individually, but I think that the floor a lot of times isn't raised as high as it should be, and that's because of effort. And our guys have put forth the effort to raise the floor and the ceiling, coincidentally, and that goes with pitching. So I think that it's no secret that our pitching has been so much better in the last, call it 2 weeks, and that's also because our defense has been stellar.
Dave, do you think that Max gets talked about enough as one of the top power hitters in the game?
Probably not, and I don't mind that personally. The last thing I want him to hear is that he's a power hitter, because I think that's where we get into the too big of swings, the strikeouts, the pull-mindedness. But yeah, when you look at overall production of slug, he's certainly up there, yeah.
How much have you guys pushed him to not be that 3 true outcome guy, and how has he evolved
A ton,
this year?
a ton. I talk all the time about being a good hitter for him and for all of our guys. And he's still slugging, but he's taking much better at bats. And so for me, I've always felt that he has the ability to do both.
What was the opposite field home runs the last couple of weeks or last week? Because that kind of shows his next evolution or
Yes,
trying?
this is who he should be. And I'd say that he should be hitting opposite field homers all the time, but winning pitches, taking balls in the dirt, using the whole field, this is who I feel he should be and continue to be.
Teoscar has also been a guy, I guess, this year who's kind of been using the opposite field a little bit more. Is that something that, I don't know, maybe the hitting coaches have talked about with your group? It's just kind of seeing it more from multiple players?
I think it's more of you as a player. Teoscar is a smart guy, and he sees what's happening around him and what successful major league hitters are doing and have done. And we have those on our ball club, and I think he's understanding that he can be a better hitter as well as slug. And so I love the way that, you know, he comes to play every day. His mindset is the same every day. He values runs batted in, driving in runs. And to do that, you got to be able to use the whole field. And so, yeah, and when you're talking about meaningful games, you've got to be a good hitter, you know, to have success against, you know, ones and twos and top end bullpen guys.
Seen some pretty good stretches here over the years. These last 15 games about as dominant as the team has been in sort of a complete game kind of.
I think in a complete game sort of frame, it's as good as I've seen it. I think that over a stretch over the recent years, we've played some great baseball at times, but this is from all facets, it's as good as I've seen. It's hard to beat what we've done.
You mentioned last night the bullpen's in a good place. How huge is tomorrow's off day in the scheme of things, just to get everybody kind of rested and lined up, especially with the injuries that cropped up in the last week?
I think that the last off day after the 10-0 win was more welcomed. I think our guys are feeling pretty good, but it's I guess no one's going to turn down an off day. But as far as because of our starters have gone so well, we're in a good spot. So whatever the schedule kind of lays out, we're good with. But yeah, any off day is a good day.
The bullpen management's always huge. You have 13 in a row coming up. How more magnified is that going to be in next year?
That's something that we've got to be ready for. That's going to be a lot. We've played some really good teams. So we're going to need good starts. We might drop somebody in at some point to kind of give guys a blow, give the starter an extra day. But yeah, the bullpen management is going to be huge, and having guys like Yarborough's length, it's going to come up big. Thanks, guys.